Welcome to this community circle. I'm the facilitator of this circle. My name is Chad. The co-facilitator of the circle is named Edna. In this community circle process, ground rules are established so that a safe place can be created where people can come together with a trained facilitator to discuss behaviors that are creating a problem, the impact of the behaviors, and mutually agree how to 1. Heal the harm resulting from the behaviors, 2. Restore the group, and 3. Reintegrate the persons affected back into the group. The following ground rules are used in the community circle upon agreement of everybody. First, listen when others are speaking. To facilitate that, we will use a talking scrunchie to recognize the fact that not everybody in this circle has fingers that are able to grasp a stick. 2. Speak with honesty and from the heart. 3. Use words that are respectful and not offensive. 4. While everyone is encouraged to speak, no one is required to speak. And 5. What is said in the circle stays in the circle, except the written report and mandated reporting. Now, before we engage in the community circle itself, I would like to ask that everyone contributes a norm in addition to these ground rules. I'll start that conversation with Carol.
I would like it if here in the circle we did not use our code names, but instead used our real given first names. I would like to be called Carol, not Captain Marvel.
Thank you, Carol. That's an excellent addition to the norms of our circle. Now, I am not going to add a norm at this time. I would like to hear the other norms that people suggest. So I'll pass the talking scrunchie to Edna.
Hello, darling. I would like to make it a norm that in this circle we will have no capes.
Edna, you may pass the talking scrunchie to Shazam.
I have an objection to Edna suggesting that there should be no capes in the circle because I happen to wear a cape. However, I understand that her objection to the capes from previous conversations we have had, Edna and I, is that she fears that the capes will be caught in a way as to do harm to us. I would like to stress to Edna that my cape is a short cape, and I think that is acceptable.
That's an interesting refinement. Shazam. Let's pass the talking scrunchie around the circle and see what Captain Marvel thinks.
I have no objection to the wearing of short capes in this group.
Thank you, Carol. I also have no objection to the wearing of short capes in this group. Edna?
All right, darling. I shall revise my norm to say no long capes.
Thank you, Edna. That seems a nice refinement that reflects the values of other people in the circle. Let's pass the talking scrunchie back to Shazam.
I also agree to the wearing of no long capes. I would also like to suggest a further norm, which is that in this circle, we should not use our superpowers. I noticed that Carol. I noticed that Carol has hands that are covered in flame at the moment, and I would like her to and us to agree not to use our powers.
That seems like a reasonable request, Shazam. Let's see what Carol has to say. I will pass her the talking scrunchie.
I am willing to not use my powers in the circle. I agree to the norm.
Thank you, Carol. These 3 norms seem very reasonable to me. It sounds as if they are reasonable to everybody else. Edna, As the co-facilitator of this circle, could you please write down on your tablet the norms that we have all agreed upon, and then we will sign them to signify our agreement. Thank you, Edna. May I look at the norms? All right, Edna has written the 3 norms, which we agreed upon as a group. She has written no code names, no powers, and no long capes. Originally it was no capes, but she says no long capes. Now we will all sign the norms. I will start with Edna. Thank you, Edna. I'll pass it to Shazam. Oh, Shazam, what's your real name, not your code name? Billy. Okay, I will pass it to Billy. Thank you, Billy. And now I will pass it to Carol. Oh, Carol, remember we need to turn off your powers right now. So let's remove your flaming hands. There we go. All right, and then Carol, would you mind signing that? Thank you. I will sign it as well. And now we will post these norms on the wall of our meeting space so that we can refer to them in the future. I thank you for this collaborative community circle in which we have established our norms.